You know theater owners were reading Variety this morning like,
ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha ha.
greetings all ye shrews and froos and stablesmen, Jake S. Weissman here. I was wandering around all week bemoaning the fact that there's no news. Oh, since Wonder Woman, there's just no news. This morning I found myself on Reddit, as I often do, looking for the juicy. And you know what I found was this little gem from the movie theater employee subreddit. Well, what could this possibly mean? So I clicked the mysterious link. And it led to comicbook.com. I don't know from comicbook.com, but I didn't believe what I read. I couldn't believe the headline.
I couldn't believe any of it.
So I went to the other news and read Variety and saw that it's f***ing true. It's true. Warner Brothers to debut entire 2021 film slate, including Dune and Matrix 4, both on HBO Max and in theaters. Listen, I read the headline and read the first couple of chunks and then decided I needed to film this. So what I'm going to do is just read this article and comment on it as I go along. And then at the end, we'll do really quick recommendations, which will be a really good joke about Dune. Okay. Warner Brothers to debut entire 2021 film slate, including Dune and Matrix 4, both on HBO Max and in theaters, by Rebecca Rubin, Matt Donnelly, December 3rd, 2020, 10:30 a.m. Pacific Time. When Warner Brothers announced that Wonder Woman 1984 would land on the streaming service HBO Max on Christmas, the same time it debuts in theaters, many expected it to be an isolated case in response to an unprecedented pandemic. Instead, the studio will deploy a similar release strategy for the next 12 months. In a surprising break from industry standards, Warner Brothers' entire 2021 slate, a list of films that includes Matrix 4, the Dune remake, Lin-Manuel Miranda's musical adaptation of In the Heights, The Sopranos The Sopranos prequel, The Many Saints of Newark, and The Suicide Squad will debut on HBO Max and in theaters on their respective release dates. Ooh.
I'm so shocked.
How am I supposed to do any commentary on this? Who saw this coming? I'm shocked. I can't believe they went... This is such a move. They pulled so hard. They were so done with 2020. And people saying...
What are you going to do? Well, we'll wait and see what Warner Brothers has to do. Well, let's let Warner Brothers make the choice.
Well, they just let us know what they're doing until 2022. They let us know. Stop asking. This is what we're doing. It really reminds me of the end of Ford versus Ferrari. It might be a silly analogy, and spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. Christian Bale pulls ahead, and they make him go back to be with the pack because it looks better. And he ends up kind of losing in the long run, but we as the audience understand that he won. That's like the vaguest spoiler-filled ending to a movie ever. I don't know if that was good or bad. Everyone's waiting to see what the theaters are going to do. Oh, let's all play games. We'll be fine. Disney's kind of doing what they're doing. And Warner Brothers just laid it all out. Warner Brothers is so done with this. The shocking move to simultaneously release movies day and date underscores the crisis facing movie theaters and the rising importance of streaming services in the wake of a global health crisis that's decimated the film exhibition community. Warner Brothers' 2021 release slate also includes, let's go through this list, Denzel Washington's thriller, The Little Things, biographical drama Judas and the Black Messiah, a remake of Tom and Jerry, Godzilla vs. Kong, video game adaptation Mortal Kombat, Those Who Wish Me Dead, whatever that is, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, the new Space Jam movie, the new James Wan movie, and a sports drama. In the short term, the move will inject some welcome buzz into HBO Max, a Netflix challenger that launched last spring without generating much sizzle. They announced this right at the beginning of December. How many people are going to get HBO Max Christmas presents? Holy shit. It was already announced that Disney Plus was like one of the number one apps of the year. They're done. They're done.
Holy crap.
Warner Media's key rivals, the Walt Disney Company, has strengthened its share price because of its investment in streaming offerings such as Disney Plus, even as its core theme parks and film business have cratered. Warner Media and its corporate parent AT&T are likely making the move with an eye toward pleasing Wall Street. That's when I talk about shareholders, right? And when they make announcements to please fans versus when they make announcements to please shareholders and throwing a stone in the water. This is like taking a huge part of the entire wall and chucking it into the ocean. They're done. They're done having this conversation with all of you. Make your choice. It'll speak for itself. The court of public opinion. Do we actually need theaters? Because obviously the cough is getting worse. LA just shut things down. Everyone is shutting things down. We want our Christmas money. We waited all year. We played game. Fucking David Bowie is taking my focus. It's okay that David Bowie takes my focus. Like Wonder Woman 1984, the films that Warner Brothers plans to release in 2021 will be available to HBO Max subscribers for 31 days. After the 1 month mark, those movies will only play in theaters until it reaches the traditional home entertainment frame. From there, people can rent through online platforms like Amazon, iTunes, or Fandango. It's unclear when any titles will return to HBO Max. Okay, so I'm reading that in real time right now. I didn't know that. A whole month if you have the subscription already. It's not like a Disney Plus Premier $30 extra thing. Like, you get a whole month to watch it on TV if you don't want to go to the theaters. And then if you miss it, you can either see it at the theaters or you can buy it like it's a normal movie. Like, there's a normal window. This is nicer than they have to be.
This is nicer than they have to be.
But it's also good business because they're going to be able to use those other platforms. And right now, it's not these streamers versus other streaming platforms as much as it's, hey, world population, do you want to go to the theater anymore? Because they're saying we're going to have to wait another half a year. Warner Media Chair and CEO Ann Sarnoff referred to the model as a unique one-year plan. Oh. Executives at the company have stressed the initiative isn't expected to continue into 2022 or beyond. It's considered a temporary solution in response to the ongoing global health crisis. I'll believe it when I see it. Do you really think it's going to go back to normal? In your heart of hearts, do you really think that? Do you really think if they make this much money off of subscriptions that they're just going to drop the model altogether? Bless your heart. I think that this is to, make movie theater owners or employees feel better? Okay.
So either I completely missed this the first time I was reading this, or this was absolutely not an afterthought that they added to this article in between me recording this video and me editing this video. We're living in unprecedented times which call for creative solutions, including this new initiative for the Warner Brothers Picture Group, Sarnoff said in a statement. No one wants films back on the big screen more than we do. We know new content is the lifeblood of theatrical exhibition, but we have to balance this with the reality that most theaters in the US will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021.
Okay. With this unique one-year plan, we can support our partners in exhibition with a steady pipeline of world-class films, while also giving moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or aren't quite ready to go back to the movies the chance to see our amazing 2021 films, she continued. We see it as a win-win for film lovers and exhibitors, and we're extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on this innovative response to these circumstances. Again, it's not going to go back. Yeah, it's a win-win for Warner, but theater owners are pissed. Theater owners, oh my God, a whole year? They're
Pissed.
Warner's gonna say that this is a win-win. Start asking around. There is not a theater owner who is okay with this news right now. I have this shit-eating grin on my face. It's good news! This is good content. For dorks like me. Variety reported earlier this week that Warner's was considering sending several films to HBO Max and theaters day to date, but the studio opted to move forward with the rest of its upcoming slate because the film landscape is only getting rockier as the cough worsens, and parts of the United States consider implementing new stay-at-home orders. The idea that people will return to the movies anytime soon is looking more and more like a distant dream as the cough nears the 1-year mark. It's also unclear what kind of distribution footprint will await studios on the other end of the cough. More than 60% of U.S. theaters have closed down again, and that number could continue to rise if cases continue to spike around the holidays, which they probably will. Which they probably will. That's not in the article. As a sign of these troubles, just hours before Warner Brothers disclosed its plans, AMC announced that it was selling up to 200 million shares of stock in an effort to raise as much as $834 million and shore up its liquidity. They did it again. Warner Brothers keeps waiting and playing the news as a company or business should, right? They waited to see what happened, and AMC is like, yeah, we're gonna sell 200 million shares of stock in an effort to shore up some liquidity. And Warner Brothers says, yeah, cool, that's rad.
Pull the trigger.
How cool. To get theaters on board and allow Warner's to break their theatrical contract with Wonder Woman 1984, the studio is giving cinemas a more generous cut of ticket sales. Theater chains are receiving as much of 60% of revenues now, or they will be. But sources say that won't be the case for upcoming releases. Because I feel like we had to give away more than 60% for box office, depending on the movie, but maybe that was just for Disney. Warner Brothers, I don't know what the percentage was at my theater when I worked there. What, now they're going to split? They're going to say, okay, tickets 50-50. We'll only take 40%. Meanwhile, they're just like funneling cash on the other end. Sorry, theaters, you're a finger on my hand, not the other way around. Today's announcement from Warner Brothers is yet another example of how dramatically the cough has shifted the power dynamic between studios and theater operators. Even with promising vaccines having completed clinical trials, the latest move by Warner Brothers suggests the balance may never return in favor of exhibitors. Months ago, Universal Pictures took an axe to the theatrical window. Remember how big of a deal that was? And it's like not even a thing. That pales compared to this, doesn't it? But in comparison, Universal's terms of agreement with movie theater chains AMC and Cinemark make them look like downright martyrs. Under those pacts, the studio can put new movies on premium video on-demand platforms in as little as 17 days. Films that generate at least $50 million in opening weekend sales, however, will have to play exclusively in theaters for 31 days or 5 full weekends. Traditionally, new releases remain on the big screen for 75 to 90 days before they move to digital platforms for a $20 rental fee. Universal has agreed to give the two circuits a cut of digital sales to get them to play ball. It's not clear if theaters will receive any benefits from Warner Brothers. So that's what Universal gets for being the first. They may have bet short. And we'll see how they're going to try and evolve their deal now that Warner's is like...
Did you know that we can do whatever we want?
I'm a giddy boy. This is so funny. This is so funny. You know, Universal, they stopped bugging Universal about everything because they made a deal. And then Warner Brothers, they just kept bothering Warner Brothers.
Well, what you gonna do about Tenet? Well, what you gonna do about this? Well, what you gonna do about Wonder Woman? Well, what you gonna do? Well, let's wait.
I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Don't ask me again. Got me?
Yeah, it's only gonna be for a year. Okay. Warner Brothers, perhaps more than any of its rivals, knows how unforgiving the theatrical market can be amid cough. when the studio released Christopher Nolan's Tenet in September in an attempt to revive a nationwide return to moviegoing. The $200 million budgeted sci-fi epic mostly fell flat. Tenet generated substantial ticket sales overseas, but returns were lackluster in the US. As a result, the movie is expected to lose many millions. But now that we're all getting an HBO Max, like, Tenet's going to be on HBO Max really soon. Probably for Christmas. Are they announcing that it's going to be on for free for Christmas? Like, you can buy Tenet on Amazon, but you can watch it for free on HBO Max? They haven't said that yet. Maybe they say it in the end of the article, but that's... makes sense. Why would they start on January when they can start on Christmas? In an interview with Variety, studio chief Toby Emmerich said the hybrid plan came about after exploring various options for Wonder Woman 1984. The international box office has significantly rebounded and even fielded some massive hits in China and Japan. Alternatively, the domestic market hasn't seen any movie come close to blockbuster levels in terms of ticket sales. HBO Max is only available in the US. Like, we were talking about this in had to have been the first 5 videos that I posted, where we were talking about exactly this kind of model, and people were saying, no. We'll just open up theaters in June. We thought it would be a win-win and give the consumers the best choice, he said. Unfortunately, the US has been one of the most hobbled markets in terms of theatrical. Outside the US, in places like China, South Korea, Japan, parts of Western Europe, our films will only be available in theaters. We think those markets can perform better. We'll keep them in theaters if the money's better. Otherwise, we're going streaming. We're going to follow the cash. After considering all available options with the projected state of moviegoing through 2021, we came to the conclusion that this was the best way for Warner Media's motion picture business to navigate the next 12 months, said Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar. More importantly, we are planning to bring consumers 17 remarkable movies throughout the year, giving them the choice and the power to decide how they want to enjoy these films. Our content is extremely valuable unless it's sitting on a shelf not being seen by anyone. We believe this approach serves our fans, supports exhibitors and filmmakers, and enhances the HBO Max experience, creating value for all. That's the end. 100% agree. Huge news. We will see how Disney follows suit. Maybe Black Widow will do the same thing. We will see how Universal follows suit. Warner Brothers put their cards down, and it's not all their cards, but if you want us to lead, we'll lead. And they pulled ahead. And it won't be for long. Now we're going to see how Netflix responds. Now we're going to see how the streamers responds. John Fithian is going to have a mouthful, I'm sure. This is great. How cool. Yep, it's in our hands. If it makes more money streaming, we're going to keep this model. If it's a bunk year, well, we're not going to wait another half a year making $0. Let's make some money. See how much money we make. And we'll see what this looks like when there are vaccines. I'm excited to get this video up. Every time I think I'm like bored with this, something really fun comes up. So let's see how this plays out. Congratulations, Warner Brothers. Congratulations for just putting your foot down. You did it. We're understanding. You guys have lost enough money. Theaters have been playing their games. Now they're all selling off everything that they possibly can, from shares of their company down to literal stock of their company, to literal stock of their company, like the popcorn and the candy. They have to sell all this shit out. Y'all are scraping the bottom of the barrel, and I think you know it. And this is a huge blow to theater owners. Huge blow. Shout out today to the box office subreddit. All my buddies there. Rabbit Troop sucks. The song of the episode is the theme to Dune, whatever that is. The book of the episode is Dune by Frank Herbert. You should probably read it. I haven't yet, but everyone I know has, and boy, do they live by it. And also, the movie of the episode is all 3 versions of Dune. Now you're going to be able to see one of them on HBO Max next year. You're so welcome. Bones, thank you. Thank you, Bones. Thank you, Bones. I couldn't do this without you. Thanks for chatting me up. Be sure to join me on Twitch, watch my features on Amazon Prime, watch my videos on YouTube, and I will see you
in the future.
Kids, turn off the TV. I have some bad news about Lenny.
Yeah.